All right, so Alabama wins 55-17 against LSU. This is gonna be a quick video. It was to the point where I was doing this. I'm doing homework, guys. This game was just really boring. Um, it was just not that. I mean that's to be expected. I mean, we all knew that Alabama was gonna come and blow out LSU. Didn't really want to say anything or make any hype videos or trash videos because we all knew this is not a good LSU football team. Alabama scored 45 points. I'm sorry. No, yes, they did. They scored 45 points in the first half. They scored 45 points in the first half. Devontae Smith had over 200 yards in the first half. I mean, I can't even call it. I can't even call it embarrassing or really humiliation. I couldn't. You can't even really call it that because this was just the expectation. Everyone knew that this was potentially going to happen, but you know, I don't know. I don't know if you're an LSU fan. How do you guys feel about this? That's something I'm just very curious to know. In the comment section is how do you guys feel about this loss? Because man, this has got to be a very bad loss. But a lot of people, again, a lot of people, including a lot of LSU fans and guys that cover LSU, they expected this to happen. So I think the biggest question, if you're an LSU supporter, is does this affect recruiting? Do a lot of the guys that they figure out that they had on lock, that a lot of people expected some of these recruits in this 2021 class to, have LSU as a lock. Does that happen? No. So, I guess the game could impact signing day, early signing day. Something we just got to figure out. But Alabama, offensively, we played really, really well. I felt like in the second half we definitely took our foot off the pedal. You can definitely see it. We missed a lot of opportunities, whether if it was the John Mechie deep inside post route where John Mechie should have caught the ball. It was a perfect pass by Jones. Mechie dropped it. And then you have to talk about the Slade Bolden fumble. We didn't really capitalize in the red zone. We didn't really capitalize in the red zone that much in the second half. So we definitely slowed down the pace. Alabama could have put up 70 points on this LSU football team. But, at the end of the day, Alabama won the game. And they won convincingly. They actually did cover the spread. It was like a 30-point. I think it actually went up in the morning. I'm not too sure. But Alabama did cover the spread. So if you're an Alabama fan, if you bet it, or if you bet on this game to cover that Alabama cover the spread against LSU, you got to be happy about it. And I think actually they went beyond the spread. So that's good news for any of those sports bettors. But just talking about this defense real quick of how they played in the first half, because I think that's the thing that I think Bama fans are probably going to talk about. We played like absolute garbage against the run. We were undisciplined. I mean, you saw those same tendencies that got us in trouble in the first 3 games of the season, right? How I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at Mr. Busted Coverage himself, Daniel Wright, who, of course, had to do his typical signature move, and that's pretty much abandon or forget his responsibility in the back end, and of course have a touchdown to Keishawn Butte, who dropped the ball on the goal line. I know Bama fans are pissed about that because he dropped the ball at the 1-yard line, then it went. Should have been a touchback, but the LSU receiver, I forgot who recovered it, but an LSU receiver did recover the ball in the end zone, so it was going to be a touchdown regardless. But of course, Mr. Busted Coverage himself, Daniel Wright, had to mess it up, and he does it every game. And it worries me that in the Florida game, it's gonna happen in the Florida game. The question is, how many times this is going to happen? That's the question. Linebackers wise, I mean, Dylan Moses played like absolute garbage in the first half. He played like crap. I mean, the only linebacker that actually played well was Christian Harris. Christian Harris played really well. You know, I felt like he was the only person that actually knew what the hell he was doing. Dylan Moses, a signal caller. The adjustments. I mean, I don't know, because the adjustments came in late. Dylan Moses, for the most part, against the run, he felt slow. Really wasn't getting off blockers. Was horrible in pass coverage. I mean, this was one of Dylan Moses' worst games, and you gotta think about the first 3 games of the season and think we cannot let that happen against Florida. Right, we put up, it's 55-17. People may say I'm spoiled, but looking at that first half, looking at the way how we performed against an LSU football team that has talent. Now they lost a bunch of players, but this is still a talented football team. We go up against a talented offense that can actually throw the ball a little bit, and we struggled. You know, we gotta pick it up. We gotta do better. I felt like the defensive line was pretty much getting pushed back in the first half. We couldn't really tackle. We wasn't physical enough compared to how we were the first 3 to 4 weeks. We kind of just lost. We felt we was just lost out there a little bit. And again, LSU could have had 21 points if they probably would have went with the quarterback sneak instead of really handing the ball off in that 4th and 1. I mean, it was pretty much. I feel like it was not a good call by not Linningham, by Ensminger. So think about if they would have converted that 4th and 1. LSU could have scored a touchdown, and the score would have been, what, 21-35 or whatever the score would have been the first half. But LSU could have put up a lot more points if they were just able to capitalize on the opportunities that we gave them. So we got to be better, clear and obvious. I think for me, the honeymoon phase is over with this defense. The fact that, and I'm just talking about I'm not saying this is a bad defense, but just how dominant they were the last 4 weeks. I think that honeymoon phase is kind of over. I think the weaknesses are once again kind of being exploited. It's not hitting anymore. We didn't get better in those areas. It's kind of been exploited. I think that those are things that we can try to cover up a little bit. We definitely need to get better, but they'll say, Daniel Wright with the busted coverages, the fact that we're not being physical in the line of scrimmage against a talented offensive line that has that's like LSU's. We got to get better. That's pretty much my point. We just have to get better. Again, I'm not trying to be spoiled or anything like that. Again, it's a fair critique. Just a fair critique. We did not play well in the first half on defense. We played better in the second half on defense, defensively, but we just got to play better. That's all I can say. So, yeah, Mac Jones, Heisman contender. Devontae Smith, Heisman contender. Najee Harris, I don't know. You might have to put him in the discussion. But, man, Devontae Smith, I think he's proven he's the best player on this football team, man. Devontae Smith is just a monster out there. 200 receiving yards. It's just crazy. And again, for a lot of the time, he had so many guys on him. I mean, Cordell Flott. I mean, I was shocked that Cordell Flott was on him as many times as compared to Derek Stingley. I mean, I thought for the most part, Derek Stingley was just gonna shadow Devontae Smith all day long. No, or all night long. It was Cordell Flott, and it was some other players. I mean, you did see Derek Stingley match up against Smith, and Smith did beat him sometimes. You saw Stingley kind of win his fair share. Stingley almost had an interception when Bryce Young was in the football game, but for the most part, I mean, it was just Devontae Smith, 200 yards in the first half. I was shocked. I know how bad this LSU defense is, but man, even I was shocked by that. So, yeah, good win by Alabama, 55-17. I mean, this has been my most anticipated type of game of the year. I was really excited to bring this video on, or at least during the beginning of the season. My first video was Alabama losing to LSU. So obviously, I planned in September that, hey, I was gonna make a trash talk video. I was gonna do all this and that, but looking at how LSU has kind of been performing, they're a young football team. They're gonna get better next year, but this LSU season has kind of spoiled my mood for this particular game, and now it's kind of become like a typical Alabama kind of beatdown, type of video. But anyway, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, notification bell. Definitely helps me out and helps this channel out, and lets me know that you guys want more Alabama content or college football content in the future. So anyway, this is Jan 716, aka Jan Sports. Have a good night. Peace.